Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about major companies and corporations getting woke in an effort to try to get their customer base to think that they're virtuous, and also secretly, obviously, they're trying to make more money. They do this woke stuff as a way to pander and to say, hey, we're a good company. We should be watched. We should be helped. You guys should shop here. And then they expect people to buy their products. It's pretty transparent. It's pretty cheap. It's pretty much exploiting the causes they pretend to be behind. And this story, this example of today is really no different. It's a new one though. It's pretty interesting. It's got a video to go along with it. Today we're talking about Mattel's famous toy called Barbie. For those who don't know, Barbie is this doll for girls. It's very famous. It's pretty much one of the most popular ones in the history. It's been around for many decades in America. They're essentially these girl Barbies. They're maybe a foot or two high, depending on the size. They're not that big. And the girls, they decorate them. They put clothes on them. They get different versions. You could get a Barbie that's say, for example, a Barbie that's a doctor, a Barbie that's a swimmer, a Barbie that plays tennis, things like that. There's all kinds of versions of it. And today, this classic toy company is jumping into the woke cesspool. This video is what we're going to go over today. They recently posted this video on their popular YouTube channel. It's called Barbie and Nikki Discuss Racism. Really weird right away. Like, why are these toys even getting into this? I don't know why they feel the need to come up with this stuff. And something I noticed from the imagery right away, it's basically a black Barbie on the left. It's kind of the same character model. This is some real kind of advanced computer graphics here. They have this kind of animation. I believe they make videos like this on their channel a lot. It's just a little promotion kind of thing. And this is them trying to be woke, trying to fight so-called racism. Not saying racism never existed or doesn't exist anymore at all, but I don't know why I just like that. I'm going to dislike it. Okay, dislike. I don't know why I hit like. I just tend to hit like on videos that I usually like, but this one's getting a dislike because already racism, come on. Is there really a need to address this, especially to kids, to these toys aimed at 5 and 10-year-olds, like little kids, little girls? They're trying to infect them with this social justice ideology. And from what I've heard and from what I've seen of this video so far, it's not going to go well. It is not what you should be talking to kids about. It is not addressing real issues. We don't have a giant big racism problem in America. People aren't killing each other because of the color of their skin. There is some certain issues. I would say mostly on the left. The left has issues with hating white people and also kind of prioritizing certain minority races, certain identities. And I think that's wrong. But the stuff they're going to talk about here is more about white guilt and white supremacy and crap like that. But before we go any further, let's just watch the video and let them speak for themselves, and then we'll respond.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
So there is a huge movement going on. People, millions of people across the world are standing up, fight against racism. And they're doing this because too often and for such a long time, people have been treated unfairly. And in some cases, even hurt by others because of the color of their skin.
You mean like how these BLM protesters go and attack white people and just ruin their dinners, yell at their faces, hit them with stuff, grab weapons and attack them? Is that what Barbie's talking about? Because I think she's not. I think she's probably implying there's some kind of crazy anti-black racism out there, some kind of phantom boogeyman kind of person who's attacking minorities that just simply doesn't actually exist. And the other thing I'm looking at here is like these over-expressive cartoon characters. The voiceover seems a little low quality for this production. Like, it doesn't exactly match up with the animation. To me, it seems like they recorded on a low quality microphone. I don't know if I should be one to be nitpicking here, but my channel is recorded in my office on my own computer by myself. I'm not trying to flaunt some high production quality, but these guys are Barbie. They have millions of subscribers. They have millions of dollars to produce this, and it just looks like crap, and it's just pushing this woke bullcrap.
This stuff isn't easy to talk about, which is exactly why we have to talk about it.
It's a tough conversation, but I'm glad we're having it. People might think that my life looks fine, but the truth is I and so many other Black people have to deal with racism all the time. It's really hurtful and it can be scary and sad, and I wanted to share some stories about that.
Got to deal with racism all the time. Give me a break. I really, really highly doubt what they call racism is really something significant. I mean, believe me, I'm one to say if they have some real racist complaints, if these stories are factual, if something really bad happened, by all means, I'm not for that. But essentially, when you talk to leftists like this, everything's racist. Anything that bad that happens to them, they'll blame on racism. So it's kind of hard to take them seriously at this point. I mean, this chick could get cut off while driving home from work and say that was because of racism. She could be, say, get the wrong order at a restaurant and say that was a racist move. I mean, anything that happens to a minority minority is called racism. So it's kind of hard to take them seriously, especially with these over-the-top voiceovers, these over-the-top emotional looks on these Barbie characters. And the other thing is, I don't know what's up with the jump cut. I know jump cuts are used on YouTube a lot. I do it myself, but it looks really weird with this computer animation. I don't get why they had to animate it with a bunch of jump cuts. It's kind of weird to me.
Barbie and I had a sticker selling contest on the beach last month. We split up and went different directions to see who could sell the most. Well, while I was on the boardwalk, beach security stopped me 3 times.
What?
They asked me all these questions over and over, and they even called my mom. I never told you, but that's why I sold a few stickers that day. The security officers thought I was doing something bad, even though I was doing exactly what you were doing. And remember—
Okay, this is just bogus. It's just some made up thing. Oh, the police security, the beach security people stopped her more. Okay, and that's because of racism. Come on. First of all, if this story was true, not that much really happened to her. The beach security asked a few questions and she went about her day. It might not even taken that long. And as long as she wasn't doing anything wrong, you don't have to worry about the security. You don't have to worry about them asking you a few questions. Sure, if this is true, that would be offensive. That would be profiling or something like that. But it's just a made up example for this YouTube channel. This isn't an actual story. This isn't a thing that actually happened. This is just them pretending, oh, cops pull over black people more. They ask them more questions. They get followed more by security in stores. And if we really want to go down that road, I mean, I don't want to be too offensive. I know this is hard for people to take. It's a hard fact that we haven't had to share. I think most people recognize this right now, especially the ones that watch this channel, but there is a reason why this happens. I mean, this certain group commits way more crime than the other groups, and they're way more likely to be committing a crime because that's the crime stats in America. That's the way there are in jails too. There's just more crimes committed in this group. I don't want it to be true. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's what's happening. Now, profiling is still wrong. Assuming someone did something based on that is still wrong, but you got to look at your group and say, hey, maybe if we weren't doing these crimes so much, people wouldn't think we're committing crimes. It's the same thing with other kinds of traits with groups. If other groups have done things in the past, like if there's a certain group that say is prone to anti-religious violence and they do that a lot, and you know that they attack another group a lot, then you could say, hey, there's a reason to be a little suspicious. And that's what's going on here. And I know that's hard to say. That's a hard thing to explain without sounding racist. I'm not racist. I don't profile or have this kind of belief about anyone, but that's the truth and the real backstory to that they're ignoring and not mentioning because they just want to act like everyone's racist.
Well, I made a perfect score on the entrance test, but when the teacher, who didn't know me at all, gave me my results, he told me I only did well because I got lucky. He said he knew I couldn't speak French that well. I don't want to have to constantly prove and reprove myself. Usually when I talk about these things, people make excuses. They say things like, oh, well, maybe you should have had a permit for selling on the beach. But those are just excuses. People—
Okay, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you should have a permit. If you're selling something on the beach, you should have a permit. I don't know. That's not really an excuse. That's just a fact. If they have a rule there that you can't sell stuff without a permit, then when you get pulled over, it's not because of your race. It's because you're not following the rules. And then really you're blaming things that happened to you based on race. Like this other story that they're making up about some French teacher assuming that she wasn't that good at French. I mean, absolutely absurd. This is not real news. This is not anything that actually happened. They're just making crap up and they're pushing it to little kids. That's the worst part. This is a show and a toy that's for little kids, and Barbie's getting woke. Are you kidding me? This is insane.
People did these things to me because I was black and they made the wrong assumptions about me.
And they don't make those assumptions about white people like me. That's not fair.
Oh my God, life is not fair. Oh, it's not fair. They don't make those assumptions about me. Please, they act like white people don't have assumptions made against them. There's no negative stereotypes about white people. Like, are you kidding me? You never heard of Southern redneck stereotypes or white inbred hillbilly stereotypes? People assuming white people are rich and pampered and have the easy, white privilege is cast upon us. This happens to everyone. It's not just happening to you. You just think you're special because you've been told that by the liberals and the woke crowds, and they're giving you this kind of free pass and victim points. And the truth is, it's This happens to everyone. People have stereotypes and things assumed about them. Bad things happen to everyone. This chick in the first bit of this quote, she says everything happens to her because she's black. And that's just the way they're brought up. This is a bad parenting. This is someone that was told when they're a kid, they're a victim. Everything that happens to them is because of the color of their skin. It's not true. You're wrong. You were told wrong things. Don't blame me because you can't figure it out and get red pilled. And don't act like you're the only race that's ever suffered from a stereotype or something. I mean, white people have, brown people have stereotypes, other races and religions and Jewish people and people from this country, Greece. It happens to everyone. Why do you want to be the victim so bad?
Because that means that white people get an advantage that they didn't earn, and black people get a disadvantage that they don't deserve.
Exactly. It's really serious. Some people even get hurt when others think the wrong things about them.
If you say so, lady. I don't think black people get a disadvantage, white people get an advantage. I think we live in the real world. Things are black, white, and gray, and there's lots of nuance. There's plenty of successful black people. There's plenty of poor white people. It's not as bad as you are claiming. You're telling lies to children. This channel is despicable. This is insane. I can't believe a children's channel would post this and just push this kind of racism onto people. This is teaching kids to be racist, acting like black people never did anything wrong, acting like white people are evil oppressors. And it's just not true. And I think you guys get that. And we all understand that Barbie has gotten woke and this stuff needs to stop. That about wraps things up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and ding, 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 hit the bell for notifications too. See you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.